ENCE versus SSG turned out to be the battle for EMEA. ENCE and Space Station were both looking for that top spot in Europe this stage of OWCS. And ENCE came to the table with a certain strategy targeted at preventing Space Station from doing what they wanted to do. But Space Station came out with some really good ideas to adapt to what ENCE wanted to do. And today we're going to be taking a look at what exactly Space Station did to solidify this win and become one of, if not the best team in Europe. So yeah, let's get right into it. So right here, we've got exactly what Space Station want to be running. Basically as their standard comp. They want to be running the Ramatra with the Cassidy and the Symmetra. The Symmetra really allows them to position wherever they want. Sparker can take off angles pretty freely, and Hottie can do a lot on the Ramatra between taking space with the shield and the slow, as well as holding the space with the big form. Now, what ENCE want to be doing is they want to be punishing the space that Space Station want to be holding, using the Sigma Rock to deny Hottie's value, using block, because the way that Hottie is going to be counteracting the other aspect of ENCE's comp, the Bastion, is by popping his Nemesis form and blocking. And with the Stola using his rock, he can knock Hottie out of his blocking stance, which can result in them finding a good pick, as well as trapping them with the May. So essentially, what ENCE want to be doing is getting someone out of position, walling them, and then burning them with the Bastion. And this first fight is a very good representation of exactly what ENCE wants to be doing with this fight. Now, it's a very standard first fight here on push. Both teams are posturing where they want to be standing. Space Station holding this high ground area, not really wanting to be in a position where they can get caught by the May wall, and they're just going to be poking, and eventually we're going to be seeing this push and pull result in some kind of capitalization from ENCE. Both of these teams are pushing and pulling back and forth. ENCE want to be trying to be pulling Space Station away from the high ground where they want to be standing and into an area where they can get a good May wall from Kevster. And you're going to see here, Kevster's going to hit a very nice wall here on Sparker. And with this, they're going to be pushing in. Sparker's going to get walled, and he's going to die. And there's not really a whole lot the Space Station can do about it. Has adapted to the Ash, and I really like this Ash adaptation because ENCE is going to be wanting to position in a place where they're all going to be standing together. And the Dynamite from Ash can do a very good job of cleaving this damage, as well as provide a more stable off angle from ENCE, which is a very good counter to the May Bastion comp, is taking as many angles as you can. And you're going to see here, SSG are going to go for a teleport play, and they're going to leave their Ash behind on the off angle, really allowing them to hold this angle. So you see here, Space Station have taken this high ground. They've taken a decent amount of damage, but that's not really what they're looking for. They're wanting value from Sparker here to deny this high ground area. Now they're going to give up forward, which both teams end up doing this point, really focusing on winning out the fights. But ENCE just end up winning this due to ult advantage, which is not the end of the world if you're Space Station. You do end up using the Ramatra ult, which is not the end of the world, because the Ramatra ult can be very heavily punished if you're ENCE between Blizzard and Window and even like the Flux, which they ended up using. So you're not too upset if you're Space Station here. But retaking against this comp is not very fun, and ENCE has done a good job of repositioning to force Space Station to really take this fight. And because they force them to take this fight, they can kind of just hang out here on the cart, and SSG are forced back. Station have switched to a character that doesn't look very orthodox. They've gone to the Rhine, which is something that they're very comfortable with, but actually does mitigate what Ents want to be doing. The Reinhardt between the shield and the overabundance of HP that the Reinhardt has really allows them to abuse the playstyle that Ents want to play. Now, Ents have done a good job this fight, though, of really steamrolling and pushing their advantages using the window, knowing that Landon doesn't have his window up yet. As Ents have taken this position, they really try to go a bit more passive here. Um, but because of that, they get punished by Space Station because Space Station can hold angles better. Um, and really punish the position that Ents wants to take. However, if you're Ents, you're very satisfied with this first push. You didn't use any ults on that fight, which is also good. But you haven't forced anything out from Space Station, and now Space Station are in a spot where they want to be pushing their advantage. They want to be aggressive here, and you see that Ents goes for their play here. They wall Hottie, they go for the Bastion turret, and they want to kill the tank. But with a good window from Landon, they're able to break the wall, peel for Hottie, and Hottie's able to hit a very good shatter. Even through beat, they're able to get a lot of these kills here, and you can see just how much this shield from Hottie prevents Ents from doing what they want to do. He can't be rocked because of it from Vestola. Kai ends up using his entire turret just trying to break the shield, and Kevster can't really get around it to apply that slow and that damage over time. And you can see that with Ents just trying to all in on Hottie, Space Station's able to take more angles. Sparker's able to get an insane amount of value. And they're able to win this first fight, and they're going to end up capping this first checkpoint. Something that Space Station does very, very well with these kinds of composition is utilizing the sim teleporter. And you can see, although unfortunate timing with the Bob, sending the Bob through the teleporter and really not getting a whole lot of value from it, they're able to completely reposition their team, splitting them up, sending some people to the high ground, leaving Sparker behind on this high ground, and they've set up this angle on where Ents want to be holding, with also pressuring cart. So if Ents want to stop the cart progress, they have to walk through both of the angles from Sparker, from Backbone, from Landon. They've done a great job here of making Ents' life as difficult as possible. And then the wall just insult to injury as well, making it nigh impossible for Ents to really try to capitalize off of what their comp is designed to do. A just textbook of exactly what Space Station like to do. They like to teleport most of their team to one position, leave someone behind, and then set up what I like to call a triangle. Basically making 2 points their team and then forcing the other team onto 1 point. Most of the time in Overwatch, if you can isolate fights to a triangle, and as long as your team is on 2 of the points and the other team's only on 1 of the points, more often than not, you can end up winning out a lot of these fights. And Space Station have incorporated that kind of philosophy um, to everything that they do. You can see how they've got some people here, they've got some people here, doing some sort of pseudo triangle here as well. Say if Vestola hadn't dropped, they would have had people on cart as well, pressuring off the people on this high ground. But you can see just how difficult Hottie makes everyone's life here on Ents. Just makes everything impossible. Now, Window plus Bastion does a lot and ends up winning out this fight for Ents. But you can see that with just these few pushes, And with these simple adaptations, Space Station is able to put ENCE on the back foot and force them onto something that they're not as comfortable with, which is the Orisa. Now, what we're going to see here is Space Station doing a retake of the objective after ENCE have pushed it through and really fighting over this middle area again. And we can see some of the similarities of first fight here, how ENCE wants to be pushing Space Station out of the positions that they want to hold. However, the ult from Hottie does a lot here. But something that Space Station can now do, because they're running the Ashe instead of the Cassidy, is they're going to end up sending their Ashe all the way around here and doing a pinch play, setting up their triangle yet again, and really just force ENCE into a bottleneck. Now, with the Dynamite, the Bob, Funny Aster is able to peel for Sparker, even though Vestola is trying to pressure him away. And now, from one angle, you've got an Ashe and a Lucio, and the other angle, you've got a Bob and a Reinhardt, which really just prevents you from capitalizing on what you want to do. Because what ENCE wants to do is they want to isolate individual targets, and if Space Station is playing split, you can't really isolate those individual targets. So it's a great adaptation and a great playstyle from Space Station that really just abuses what ENCE want to be doing. This kind of wall is yet another reason why Space Station love the Symmetra. Is when you put down this wall, you've completely like taken away the value of this high ground that ENCE is holding. Normally, this high ground is very oppressive and very hard to dislodge. But with this wall, Space Station are just able to ignore it. They can just go around. They can start setting up for this next corner and put the ball in ENCE's court in what they want to do. So, beautiful wall here from Backbone, and it's something that Space Station do very, very well, just in their playstyle in general. With the mirror windows, though, they're able to break the wall, which is a good play from ENCE. But, like, yet again, Sparker on his off angles are able to solidify the kill on Crimza, which eventually ends up also killing Vestola. And they are able to just win this out. Sparker able to sit uncontested and just pick off everyone on ENCE. Here is yet another example of just how good Space Station are with how much they trust each other and their understanding of how fights flow. The sound barrier is going to be built up here by Funny Astro, but not in time for the Blizzard to be used by Kevster. Now, this wall was very good, isolates Hottie, and they're able to end up getting this kill on Hottie, which is amazing if you're ENCE. Like, this is a free kill, this is a free fight win, but Kevster ends up going down, and Bob is committed from Sparker. So you've equalized as well as put an enormous amount of pressure on the positioning of ENCE, forcing them into a spot where they have to LOS the Bob or just try to kill it, which they can't really do. And they're able to come back in here with Funny Astro's beat as long as Sparker gets this kill on Kai. Sparker just being able to get these kills really carried SSG and what they wanted to do and allowed them to stop ENCE from counter-comping them. So yeah, and with that, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of these kinds of videos. I'm also going to be posting all of the VODs from my streams in this channel, as well as if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or getting team coaching, I do have my rates and my link to my information in my YouTube page as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.